Welcome back. The Bishopz Foundation is running a Report an Abuser campaign during these 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children. Let's talk more about this, in fact, with the co-founder of the foundation, Prince Rulashe, who's with me here on set. Prince, thank you so much for coming in tonight. So the campaign you are running during these 16 days is Report an Abuser.
Yes.
But sadly, years later, that is still much easier said than done, isn't it?
No, definitely. Firstly, good evening to you, Thembekile, and good evening to the viewers at home. We're launching a campaign of Report an Abuser campaign. You would know that it's 23 years since the United Nations launched the 16 days of activism. So I just want to start by explaining what is activism. It is a vigorous campaign to bring about social change. Hence, we said this year we want 16 days of activism with a difference. We want to act. Hence, we said Report an Abuser campaign, because there are a lot of cases that are not reported. We would know that the stats, 33,973 cases were reported in Tutuzela care centers in government, but 35% of those cases didn't go to criminal-related charges. So they just reported, they went for medical assistance, but we said we cannot coerce with rapists and abusers. They must be reported and the law must take its course. So that's why we're saying Report an Abuser.
And part of the difficulty with people not reporting, or when they report, women in particular, not seeing the cases through to prosecution, is that for a lot of them, you find that there's a situation where they are unable economically to fend for themselves post a trial, if it happens, right? A lot of them will say, well, I've got children with this man, and if I do report him and he's taken away by the police and sentenced, that leads to an issue in the home. What help is there for women who do indeed see this sort of case all the way to the end?
That's why we support the call of government to say women's justice for non-sexist and non-violent crimes. So we're saying as the Bishopz Foundation, we're not law enforcement agencies, but we are a foundation. We'll take you every step of the way. We do have a program to say we want to recuperate children who are abused or women who are abused and cannot afford. So we go to the private sector and we source funding for them. We take them back to school, we make sure that we provide groceries, but obviously not sustainable. We need to have women playing in the economy of this country, because charity will not sustain them, but women have to be independent and stand on themselves. That's why we're calling on the private sector to also come on board and assist in terms of assisting victims who dependent on these men who abuse them. So we're saying private sector must come on board with the Bishopz Foundation to assist them financially as well, to sustain themselves.
Is there a lot of support for people like you who do help survivors of abuse?
Yes, we do have few companies. It's one currently, it's Guhle Solutions, that is helping us. It's led by Mr. Moremi. He does help financially to sponsor this, but obviously there are a lot of women who are abused out there. You'd be surprised to see the shock that women don't want to report because it's their breadwinner. So I think more can be done, more private sector, more government must come on board in terms of financing women, but not just financing, because we want something sustainable. The economy, even the private sector, must employ women. Women must be at the forefront of the economy of this country. Then we'll see less of gender-based violence.
Have you seen any change at all, Prince, in the trends where the violence is concerned during the lockdown period specifically?
I think, to be honest, it became worse. You would know that once the president called lockdown level 5, alert level 5, gender-based violence sparked up. Hence, I said it's 23 years of 16 days of activism, but it's getting worse. We need government, society, communities to come on board with this thing, to fight it. It's not getting any better, it's getting worse.
Police, let's talk about that for a moment. Women also say they don't go to police stations because often when they arrive there, they are re-victimized by the officers, sometimes sent back home to say, well, try and resolve this with your husband, your partner, or your boyfriend, or your brother even, because abuse is not just between married people or those who are in a romantic relationship. Do you think we're seeing enough reform, enough training for officers to deal with, A, the insensitivity and the incompetence?
Thembekile, I would want to share with you, we did have a virtual dialogue with SAPS where we lambasted them. We said, no, policemen are not social workers. You are a policeman. Do not say go back. When a woman is coming to report a case, don't say go back and talk at home. You're not a social worker. Open the case. Unfortunately, women get secondly victimized when they come to the police station. They get turned back. It is the case. But we're saying to SAPS, they must train their police to be sensitive in terms of gender-based violence. We have been seeing cases, women have been approaching us that you say, we have been turned back. And we did approach those police stations. We have a problem. We called the station commander and we resolved it. But unfortunately, we cannot be everywhere and anywhere. But we're saying to SAPS, we need more police officers who understand gender-based violence. They're not social workers, they're police enforcers, they must open the cases. And unfortunately, even this protection order is not working for the victims because women die with protection orders in their handbags and in their drawers. These protection orders must be intensified to say, if a woman has opened a protection order, what is the recourse of that woman? So it's still a long way, but we're going to fight it and we're going to win it as long as we work together, government, society, even the media has a work to play because media only reports when there's someone who has died. But we want more campaigns to be shown on TV. Media, government, society, organizations must come on board. We will fight this.
Prince, thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure. Thank you a lot.
That was the co-founder of the Bishopz Foundation, Prince Rulashe, speaking to us tonight here on South Africa Tonight.